Welcome to Film Study in All American Universe podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast 5 stars. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and all of that wonderful stuff that y'all do. We have made it to the end of season 5. I'm so happy. I'm trying to contain my joy in this intro part. But yeah, we made it to the end of season 5. And me and Kaya are going to be reviewing 520 Now That We Found Love, written by Mike and David, directed by David McWhorter. This was a fun one, so let's get into it.
The fact that you're this calm.
Listen, but I'm not on the inside. I'm just like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Trust in the moment.
Just in the beat. Listen, that's how you know an episode is good. If we over here singing yes.
And it's the annoying yes.
Literally. Let me do this intro. After the post intro after the intro. It's so funny because I typically have my friend Chanel on sort of the season opener and the season closer, but didn't work out with scheduling this time. And I had already had coming on for the season finale, and we had no clue.
Girl, when it hit, I was shocked.
Let me just say that I feel like I don't even need to say what is our ratings. I give tens with tens or two.
It's tens across the board, people. Tens across the board.
I give tens with tens or two.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, let me explain this. I didn't even see this episode in its totality until until we watched it together. Thank you, Kaya. Because I was traveling, so I couldn't sit and watch the episode. But as it was getting and I'm telling you, I missed the majority of this episode, which almost never happens. I
You're not
only
lying.
see parts. Literally, I never miss an episode. So it was really weird to just be on the sort of side looking in. And then when I saw those, I literally saw tweets and I was getting texts from people. They were like, oh, we think we know who finna propose. And I'm like, hold on, I cannot miss this.
Which is crazy because of all the episodes to miss most of it.
I know.
You're wild.
But listen, I came in right on time. Just like that old refrain. Just like that old refrain. God will be there right on time. He's an on-time God. He's an on-time God because listen, I forgot about this. The stream link was not working. And again, I had to, because I was traveling, I had to stream it. And so the stream link was not working for me. And I had a couple of different ones and none of them were working for me. And so I was just like, oh, I'm not going to be able to watch this episode. I have to wait. And then as it got closer, and I was like, nah, we gotta, when I started to get them texts, it's 7:45. I'm like, no, I gotta hop on. And then I finally was able to find a stream that worked. And it timed, and it came. It was literally the scene where Asher's dad was coming. So, it was far into the episode.
Most definitely. Yeah.
And then, listen, but it cut out. And I'm like, girl, I cannot miss this. This moment. If it's the moment, I think. And then literally it cut out. I got back in and I was able to essentially as it went back to sort of Asher and Jay. Actually, it went to Spencer in the airport. And so I saw from Spencer in the airport onto onto the end everything that happened. Post that and then went back and watched the episode. And yeah, I give tens, but tens are due.
All that to say, I give tens what tens would do.
I give tens when tens are due. Let's get into this thing. Let's get into this thing because there's a lot to cover. Um, First of all, this is really I wanted to say these things up top. Out the gate, we starting with the British joke
Oh my god.
with Spencer having a dream about essentially the group being British, and having British accents. The thing is like I think that we all anticipated them when we found out that she was going to London, and even before then, I think that we were just like, they are in some way, shape, or form going to like make fun of the fact that Daniel is British eventually. And I love that they did it in this way where it was like he wasn't the one with the accent. Because the cast, honey, they were trying hard.
They were backstage just like practicing like crazy in their trailers at home. I said no. I
And
accepted
you know
almost
Daniel
all
was
of
probably
them.
like, that sucks. Yeah, I didn't, and we all know who we didn't accept. You could go ahead and say it.
Wait, I gotta say it. The worst one out of them all. After my man's, I'm so sorry.
And to be fair, he was the worst. To be fair, they gave Cody the worst to say. Like it was this like trying to be this stereotypical, very very British phrase, and it was just, what are you even
I don't even
talking
know. I just
about?
know those first like two words out of his mouth. I was
It was
lost. I said,
so
"You've lost
bad. It
me,
was
sir."
so bad. It was so bad. But it was so hilarious. It was also funny because it was like the people in that scene. Like it wasn't even everybody. Like Coop wasn't in that scene. Patience
No.
wasn't in that. It was literally just Asher, Jordan, and Layla. And like,
The people who
I
matter.
like people who matter. They said, "Let's look out for season 6. These gonna be the story."
This is the core right
No, we
here.
know that. We know that they're keeping Coop. So that is what it is. That is what, and Patience. We'll talk about her in a second. Let me start with this because it was kind of sort of random and not thrown in, but it felt almost thrown in. Um, Coach Kenny had an update for Spencer that was just like, "Oh, we should have dinner,"
Oh, he want to be his new
and
daddy.
that was that was just like, I mean, okay, I don't think we needed that scene.
No.
Like, I think
Like
I honestly would have given Kenny time to
you could have
know.
literally just had Spence throw that out to his mom at breakfast, being like, "Oh yeah, hey, can you hit me up? You want to have like dinner with me from time to time?"
Exactly.
We don't need that combo.
We did not need that combo. And it was like it again, here's the one thing with consistency issues is I was just like Kenny was just like, "Yeah, now that the season's over." I'm like, "Sir, the season been over." The season was over in 501, honey, or 503. And so I don't know why you're saying the season is over because it's been over.
Maybe he
And I was
meant
just like,
like
what
the
what he should have
year.
said is spring training is
Yes.
over. He should have said the spring training portion of football is over, and so we're gonna see you back for summer workouts. And it was just like they were talking about the fall. I'm like, y'all gotta go back for summer training camp. Like I don't know what
They said no one's gonna look this deep into it. And here comes Lexi.
Here comes me.
No one's
You
gonna
better
dig
get
that
that
deep.
right. They're in college football. Like they need to
Oh
be
my
for real.
god.
They need to be for real. That bothered me just a little bit, but still 10, still 10. See, it
Still,
was 11.
it
It
did
was
not take
11.
away a point.
It took away the extra credit. Um, Speaking of football, we're gonna get into Spencer and Liv's day that they had together. So we're gonna get to that later. But the group during this day had like this final send off for Liv before she got on her flight to London. And it was really interesting because it was like the whole day was her last day. I almost thought that the storylines were going to revolve a little bit more around her going off to London. And it didn't, and I was kind of surprised about that. Were you? Like it was literally only Spencer's kind of story besides that those group scenes.
um, that it was like not revolving so much around her day, like her
Yeah,
leaving.
yeah, like it because it was her last day, so I thought it would literally be, even Halloween was a little bit more like, even though we all were like, it's not truly in theme, but it all revolved around that party. So I assumed that it was like this was going to be sort of an all day live group thing, but it wasn't.
I see. I kind of feel like it was just because throughout the episode we kept pulling back to her. So like we were getting little updates on what she was doing, like where he was taking her and stuff, and how eventually it led back to the group with all of them, like basically giving her send off. So for me, I like the way it played out. I felt like it focused on her, but also finishing out everyone else's stories that have been building throughout the season as well.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess I was just I was expecting a little bit more. Now that I'm thinking back on it and reflecting, I feel like I would have loved to, because I'm looking at when they sort of toast and cheers, and I would have loved to see more of that. I felt like that scene felt very rushed, and they were like
On the
cutting that up
beach.
a lot. Yeah, when they were
Yes, girl,
toasting her, and
that
so
was
I'm like,
my
I
thing.
thought that they would have enough time, like, to do that, and they did it. And usually they always give time to the little fireside chats that they have. So I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised that compared to other group episodes, this felt less group heavy, and it was more about Spencer and Olivia, which I thought was interesting. Um, but anyway, back to it. The group, first of all, played, did a little surprise party. What was the phrase that Spencer came up with? Shocking gobsmocking.
I can't even say that. The shocking was all I got.
Shocking gobsmocking. I can't even say it. I can't. Shocking gobsmocking.
Shocking.
Um,
Let me know. They try
those
to
words. Just 20 minutes later, shocking gobsmocking.
shocking
I
gobsmocking.
was just trying to say this phrase.
Yeah, Cody's like, I can say it. I can say it.
Literally, I volunteer as tribute.
I bet you I can say it.
Oh my gosh! So they were playing football or pigsy kick. Like these, I cannot. And that honestly, that group scene was really really funny, right? Like Spencer juking up Liv a little bit or whatever. Did you see Layla stopping Patience from cheering because like Patience started cheering for Spencer
Yes.
who scored, and Layla like, but like, girl, you on the other team, you can't be cheering.
Yo, wait, they were really getting my hopes up too. Do you remember when Spence he like runs underneath the boarding where the walkway is by the water?
I thought Liv was gonna tackle
Yes,
him.
I
I
thought
thought
you
Liv
were
was gonna
going to say
tackle him
it.
then.
I said they play too much.
They did. They gave a little teaser. They gave a little because then she
Yeah.
tackles him later. Um, and here's the thing: when she tackles him later, I'm like, Spencer flopped a little bit on that play because she barely touched
Most
it.
definitely. He says her
He's
last
like,
bit while I have it.
let me fall out real quick.
Get on top of me real quick.
And then
My
her be like,
friend.
oh, I learned for the best. And these little moments were so funny because you just knew that like you could feel like Liv being like, is this the moment you're gonna kiss
Girl,
me?
it was
Like,
eating her up, man.
it
Eating her
was
up. Them on that bench at Beverly. Oh my gosh. I said, why are you doing this to her? Like, quit it.
we gonna get to that, but yeah, it was by the time we got to this, I'm like, okay, Liv, I need you to like contain
My
a
girl
little
was
bit more.
thirsty for her I love you.
She
Shoot.
literally is, and you know what? I don't blame her, but I was just like,
No.
just for in front of the other folk, like just
Settle down now.
settle down a little bit. Play pixie kick. Play pixie kick.
Oh my gosh.
Then Layla tackled Jordan, and I'm gonna talk about the reason that she tackled him, but Jordan, obviously stomped off, and we'll get to them. And then they do the whole goodbye toast that we mentioned. But it was like a really nice little it's a really cool like group scenes. I think like Layla was carrying Patience around, the girls were chatting, like they stayed on the beach and like had a conversation and all that good stuff. So they end up doing this toasty toast or just goodbye toast. Um Daniel and that prayer shawl.
Girl, something out the Bible, I told you. My man's looking like he got a staff.
Stop.
Oh
Literally.
my gosh. They had him
Literally.
bundled up.
He got that from his prayer closet. He said, Lord, please don't send Liv
I
away.
I am ready to hit my knees right after this little bonfire we got going here. My man's look crazy.
He was so funny. And so they all went around and did a toast. Jordan made a joke about like, taking her best friend. Asher was just like, "Oh, you're gonna have a new little guy to welcome." Da da da. And then we cut to Layla says some stuff about taking her around England, and we cut to JJ's toast, and he says something about like, "Oh, you're so honest." And it was like a really deep toast. It was
It
like
definitely was.
such a stark contrast.
We we are not ready for serious JJ right now in this
I
moment.
know. It's just like, listen, you can't be coming in and out of serious
Oh
JJ. They're just
my
like, yeah,
gosh.
that's a Charlotte Webb quote.
It's,
I was like, oh my god, oh my god.
oh my goodness.
Okay, okay. Getting back to the fact about Spencer and Liv is that like then Spencer literally just he didn't really toast anything. He
No,
just
he did
was
not.
like, we're gonna miss you. And then Liv was hurt about that. Even Liv's response to JJ, I was just like, is that like a true response to JJ? Or is this like shade to Spencer because he's been playing you all day? Or what's going on?
It was a little of both.
It was a little of both. So that the group scene was really great. And I guess I just wanted more of the group scene. But that's that's sort of where the group ended off. And it feels in a weird way, I don't know, I'm gonna ask you this question. Did it feel like the group is less connected than before? And it's like this time they weren't trying to be connected afterwards. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it
that's the
does. I
question.
agree. Also because I was comparing it to their last scene at that beach that felt like I guess a lot more connected as you would say. Um
What was their last scene at the beach? I don't remember.
After graduation when they had like the
Oh right,
little
yeah, they had a whole bonfire. Yeah,
they had a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
bonfire. Like that felt so and
Is
seeing
singing
this one
songs
here.
exactly.
Yeah. Like back then I felt like I was at Camp Rock with them. Like it was a whole moment.
Yeah,
Whereas like this one here, if what was the other camp from Camp Rock? The one that Little
Star
Staley
Camp
Camp,
Star.
Star Camp. That's what this one here kind of gave. Like it wasn't as like cohesive and put together with everyone as their last one felt. But I guess because they've just been going through so much this last season.
Because they've gone through so much in the last season, and it really felt like this was their entering into adulthoods. Like even I'll get into it as we're talking about the different couples and everything, but it just felt like very much that people were segmented now. And it's like when you still keep your friends, but you're very much focused on like what you have going on with your own little unit. And that's sort of what it felt like, is that they were just like, oh, Asher and Jaymee had their thing. Obviously Jordan and Layla had their thing, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody else, and then Spencer and Olivia had their thing, and it's like everybody else is sort of left up to their own. JJ was sort of just there, and then Patience and Coop, they're
It's
trying to pair
like
them back together.
if you really need me, then I'll show up. But like other
Right.
than that, it's
But we
just
not gonna be going out of our way though.
yes, we're not going out of our way. But oh, somebody's leaving the country for a while. Like
Yeah, we'll get together. Well, I'll give you an hour.
we'll make some time
That's
for
how it
that.
felt.
Like
That's how it felt. I'll give you a little beach football. That's fine. The other thing, no, I gotta bring this up. The other thing, I'm gonna talk about patience, but just something to think about as we get into like all of the relationship stuff. And I knew this was gonna be a relationship heavy episode, but I always sort of wonder. This is how you know that they're sort of growing up too. Nobody except for the key people like Coop, Jordan, etc., who were telling very specific things to certain people, nobody had any comments on like what was going on. Like, like we saw like Patience and Coop, like maybe, Asher had like a throwaway comment to that, but nobody talked about like Jordan throwing a tantrum. Like
oh
nobody did
no,
any.
they are learning to
They
mind their
just sort of
business.
they're learning to mind their business. Like nobody really made comments about, and I'm talking about like within the group, nobody really made comments about Spencer and Olivia like not being together. So it felt very different. It felt like everybody was growing up and sort of staying to their own corner, staying to their own thing, and like leaving it at that. So that was it made it feel different for sure. For sure, for sure. Um so yeah, patience. Hasn't heard from Miko. Layla asked her about it, and she's just like, "Yeah, good thing she's staying away." Um, I'm not understanding why they've made Patience this like super shipper of Coop and Sky.
Girl.
Especially because after this episode, we went back and watched me and you watched some season 4 scenes, and it was a totally different thing. And a lot can change in a year, clearly, but it just did it. It was just like, why is Patience trying so hard for this? You have to forgive her, and didn't you say that you love her? And da da da. And it's like, Patience, what's going on? Like, I
What?
don't know. I mean, because she, to be fair, Patience has been minding her business for
Mm-hmm.
a long time, so it felt really random, and maybe it was just a lot of it was maybe guilt or whatever. But again, she didn't really do anything, right? And Coop later tells Spencer like, "Oh yeah, I was more upset that uh, Patience kissed Sky than Sky kissing Patience," and I was like, "Well, I understand what you're saying, but also that's not what happened." Like, Patience really did the best that she could in that situation. Like, she pulled him away immediately, so she has nothing to super feel guilty about.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was weird to see her shouldering all of this stuff that's going on with Coop and Sky, especially knowing, Coop, you cheated on Sky with me, and like da da da, and you're not the easiest person to communicate with, and things like that. So it was very interesting, I feel like. But anyway, she suggests to Coop to go talk to Sky. Coop ends up talking to Sky. Sky,
Another one. Another one. Oh my god. I used to like her.
I used to like her. That's what I thought. She had a backbone.
Yes.
But they give her a backbone with everybody else except for Coop, and I really
Yes.
don't understand that. Sky, you're a really great catch. You're a really cool girl. You don't need to be like thirsting over Coop like this of all people.
Constantly. And I'm like, girl, you broke up with her for a reason. So the fact that you're trying to go back to
Exactly.
that makes no sense. No
That
sense.
that. And then speaking of going back and like really like striving for that. But speaking of
Yes.
going back, then they try to give Asher this throwaway line of, "Oh, I don't know why Coop and Patience broke up, sir. You were
You
right
were
there in the middle
there.
of that
You were
breakup."
there.
You listen. Talking about what we spoke about before. You were right there around that fire pit where
Oh my
Patience was talking
god.
about her dissatisfaction with that relationship for a very long time. And so I don't understand why he's just like tossing stuff out there about, I don't know why they broke up. And then Coop all of a sudden is like has feelings for Patience again, especially because she was the one.
Who made her pack her bags and then have to unpack them?
Didn't Sky just tell you? This literally again a season ago. And this is my issue with this. Nothing has happened as far as Coop and Patience to warrant this sudden changing of feeling. Like, they haven't had a ton of scenes together. They haven't really been in each other's orbit all that much. They've really been keeping individually to themselves apart from like
Mm-hmm.
group scenes with the girls all together. And so I'm not understanding this. Like, where did these feelings pop back up? Because last we checked, Scott had asked you, "I know you love Patience, but can you honestly say you're in love with her?" And Coop couldn't give an answer. So I'm like, what's changed, honey bunches? What's changed?
Okay. Here I'm a because I'm just as confused as you are.
You're gonna try to devil's advocate.
So
Go
I
ahead.
feel like where Coop is concerned, um, I feel like she was already questioning by the point her and Sky started messing around or whatever, her feelings for Patience and trying to move on from their relationship because they just weren't good for each other by then, had to be done with it. But I feel like we all know she still had love for her. And throughout this time of her like being with Sky, and we've seen she hasn't had time for Sky either. Like, she's been dealing with the law stuff that I want her to get rid of. But like, she hasn't even had time for Sky in that relationship. But I feel like her also just, I guess, becoming better friends with Patience, minus having to like do the whole relationship thing, brought on more of those feelings that she used to have for her, probably like if not stronger. Um, Whereas Paige, I don't know if this makes sense, but it kind of does in my mind. I feel like she's pushing so hard for Coop and Sky to get back together because she still loves Coop. And yes, she wants to be with her. But with Miko now being in the picture, I feel like it's out of fear of what could happen to Coop and someone being like that close to her that she has these feelings for.
Ooh,
If Miko were
interesting.
to like attack her in some way or like try to come for Coop in some way, you know, whereas if she's with Sky, like that's something she doesn't have to worry about, you know, like Miko has no parts with that. But for someone that Patience loves that much, I think it's just protecting her from all things Miko, even if it means she has to get a little stab herself.
You, no pun intended. My God, too soon. I'm calling too soon on myself.
She said, "I will take it for you because you already got a bullet."
Please. So, what's interesting about that is I actually feel like you gave a very actor backstory type of answer for that, because I didn't think, like, as an audience member, oh, this could somehow relate, and maybe other people did, but this could somehow relate to, and I mean, like, in a deep way. I think in a general sense I realized it could relate to her trying to protect Coop from Miko, but not just like, oh, I have feelings and I don't want her to get hurt, like that type of depth of the protection and concern. I thought you were gonna say, for Coop, see, because Patience has not had anybody right since that awkward thing with Sabine. Um,
Mm.
and now that she sees, it's always that idea of like, I desire what I can't have or what is not accessible to me, because to me Patience's feelings for Coop have never been in question. Like, I feel like we've always known that she still loves her,
Mm-hmm.
because she's always sipping, she's always sipping for Coop.
All the
And like, she's
time.
been doing it less so in this back half of the season, but for the most part, it her feelings for Coop are clear. And now it's like, now that Coop had a chance to see, oh, other people desire Patience, she's just like, I really do love her. And that was sort of what we got with Sabine as well. Like, she was obsessed, right, with what was going on with Sabine and Patience. And so that's where I was just like, maybe that's the angle that they were taking, but it all felt too neatly tied up. Like, it was, it was just too soon overall, and they didn't give a great explanation, I feel like, for why. And not even that we needed an explanation, but they didn't give a great build up for this, like, return of Coop and Patience.
If we get them by like mid-season of season 6, I'll say yes. I feel like right now it's in like the slow stages of it.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't think it warranted Asher being like, why did they break up? Like, that felt really too, it felt too forced to me, that one particular line. Even Spencer, because even Spencer, when Coop told him about it,
Mm-hmm.
was just like, oh, you still, it wasn't like immediately jumping to, oh, you're still in love with that girl, right? It was just like, oh, you still got feelings for Patience. Like, it was very chill. And I feel like that's supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole Asher thing was just weird to me. I don't know. I'm stuck on that Asher line clearly. But that was Spencer does, though, go and encourage Coop after he talks to Liv, encourage Coop to go talk to Patience. And at the same time, sort of simultaneously, Miko pops back up. Why Patience didn't look through the
Thank
peephole?
you.
Why Patience didn't go and look at that ring light, the ring doorbell that Jordan installed? I don't know. Why was Laura not there when she was there earlier? I don't know.
She
Like,
was
all
upstairs
of
doing her
these
application.
all these questions I have in my mind of like, how did we end up with Patience in a house? Oh, so you think Laura is there? You think Laura was at
I
the house?
I feel like she's at the house. I feel like she's upstairs.
It was giving alone. It was giving alone, but I hope that she is at the house. But obviously, we know that Patience got stabbed. No, here's why. I was just like, girl, you didn't even bring your phone to the door. I
You
mean, like,
so
I don't
stupid.
know.
She never had
That's
a phone.
easy.
Like, oh my
That's easy
gosh.
for me to say, but like, I don't know. I'm like, you couldn't go outside. You could do a little extra. Like you just accepted it. Like you were
This
just
girl
like, oh,
was
let me pull
she
this
was
out.
skipping to that door. Like, oh my gosh.
Skipping to the door, but then after she got stabbed, she was just like she accepted it. She was just
It's
like,
like,
oh, I
yes.
got stabbed. No cry for
Like,
help.
oh,
Yo,
nothing I
and
can
I
do
know she had to
now.
like
Let me just slide down this wall and slowly die.
like she really didn't do nothing.
Oh
I
my
understand that she has to conserve her blood and all that and her energy, and she was like gasping, but
I
I'm
mean,
like,
she was. It
I
was
don't know.
so
For
traumatic.
me, I was like, patient, stand up. Patience.
Or like, I even told you, like, girl, why you fell inside? You should have like fell and slid down the like side of the door frame or something. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, was the door still open? Didn't she shut the
It was
door back? Like,
like, no, 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 ain't no way she got. You gonna say you try to preserve your energy and not scream, but you gonna close the door? Like what?
I
I
don't
don't know.
remember what happened to the
I don't
door,
think
but
she closed that door. I think the door was wide
okay,
open. I'm pretty sure
okay.
it was wide open.
I gotta go back and look. But I'm like, okay.
Oh
It
my
just was
gosh.
giving. I don't understand why you just felt like you didn't even attempt. She didn't even attempt to go get her phone or
And then
anything
I'm like,
or cry or anything.
she
It was giving Billy. It was
it
giving
was
Billy like, oh, take the 2 steps.
just take me now. You know I'm giving up.
Like
I'm
just
not even gonna
Jabari,
fight
just
back.
telling Jabari, oh, go ahead, I'm right behind you. Didn't even attempt to
Thank
save
you.
himself. Was just like, oh,
Oh my gosh. I can't with these deaths or not even
oh
deaths, these
my gosh.
accidents, man. Because I'm like, also, girl, you opened the door. Was your eyesight only focused on her eyes, like her face? Did you not see that little stick
Somebody said.
in her hand? Like, make it make
Somebody
sense.
said, but even like when she saw Miko, there was like a good couple of seconds of
It was a
recognition there, and
beat.
it's like you didn't even like slam the door
It
or
was
like
a
run
beat.
or
This
do
girl
anything.
waited a few seconds. Like, you wanted to get stabbed.
It literally like watched her
You stood
stab.
there and let this. She wasn't even running towards you. She walked towards you to stab you, and you stood there in place. You said, "I'm not even gonna move. I'm gonna let you hit your mark." Like, make it make sense, girl. So stupid. She deserved it.
The takeaway. Takeaway from all this is that Patience needed to do more. And listen, when I tell you, when I tell you the audience was so like Twitter was going in on her for this,
As they should.
it's kind of like we're literally victim blaming Patience right now. Why did somebody say? I think I saw both of these. Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird of Patience to get stabbed, like the night Jordayla gets proposed to and Spelivia gets back together. Like, I don't know. You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait.
No. I'm like, dang. And
Always gotta be messing stuff up,
my
Patience.
girl's supposed to be enjoying this night. Like, this was a huge night for her. And now she got to get a call saying her artist has just been stabbed. Come on. You know she was comfortable in bed with her man. Like, how you gonna do that? It's so selfish.
Like now, like Liv just done got on a plane. Like we don't got time for this
Right?
Patience.
Liv
All you
said,
had to
I am
do
not getting a
was
flight
shut.
back. That is
All she had
$2,800.
to do was shut the door. Like you couldn't
So
even shut the
or
door.
scream or try to run. She didn't even try to
It
run.
was
Like, girl,
good,
that
but I
house is
don't
mad big.
listen. I don't even know why we're shocked about this because
I'm
again,
not. I'm just
getting back to us rewatching season 4. This is the same girl that couldn't even attach the attachment to which was the purpose of sending the email to Layla.
yes.
And she was like, "Where's the attachment?" "Oh, it's on there." "No, it's not."
Oh my
Like
gosh.
you couldn't even do more to stop yourself from not getting stabbed. Like we're at that point. You're that lazy.
Ridiculous. The same girl that was like, "Ugh, Layla's not here yet. My guitar, girl. You don't know what a backing
Oh
track
my
is? Like,
gosh.
come on.
You don't know what a package.
I cannot.
just
She
just
expected, so that's what it was.
very
She expected someone to be there to save her in that moment, and because no one was, she couldn't save herself.
that that so it was very interesting
We just gave Miko like no blame in this situation.
because this is literally all Patience's fault. Like I would
It's like
love to
Miko
blame
did what we
Miko.
expected Miko to do.
Exactly. Like she didn't do anything more, anything less.
Nope.
Patience continued to meet with Miko in the first place. Patience left her phone on the table after she knew that Miko was a weirdo. Like, what? You're doing this to yourself. Patience kept it quiet that something else happened with me. Oh, that Miko sent the video. Like, what are we doing? What
Literally
are we
waiting for Layla
doing?
girl to do all the work for her. I got the restraining order. I got the site taken down. And then here comes this girl following up. What did she say? She was like, "Oh, but do you think like you don't think she's gonna do something to herself, right?" Girl, no,
Oh
she gonna
my
do something to you. Like, come on, you so stupid. Cannot.
god. I know it was. I just, yeah. I'm that. I guess we'll pick back up. Is she on that floor
No,
slide?
nah, she's gonna pick up in the hospital.
Either Laura or Cooper's gonna find her and
Coop
say,
gonna
"Patient,
find her. Coop gonna run in there.
what
We're gonna get
happened?"
that flashback of her trying to like what do you call it?
Could you imagine though if we do open up on people finding patients and they're like, "Patients, what happened? Why she
They're
like?"
not girl, they can't do that. Unless it's a flashback because y'all better make me skip them 3 months.
Oh my god, please! I know.
Wow.
Anyway, that's what happened to patients, and that was the cliffhanger of season 5.
Patience is currently on the brink of
Um,
death.
Patience is currently on the brink of death. Do we think that she's going to
Die.
predictions for
I
the next episode?
don't think she's going to die because we've already had one big death this last season. R.I.P. Papa Billy. Um, I feel like it's going to show her. Whereas like Coop, we got her with the flashbacks. I think it's just going to be this girl recovered. We'll probably see a flashback of
Hmm.
who found her, most likely Coop, and then her now just alive and living. But then she's still dealing with the trauma of being stabbed by Miko. But she's out the hospital
Yeah,
and everything, living her life.
yeah. I don't think it makes sense to kill her at this point. I think if they did kill her, it would just be for shock value. Because to your point, we've had a major death, so they've met the death requirement. They hadn't killed anybody off in a while, and Billy Tay sacrificed his own character with that one,
Thank you.
and and so I do think like there's some things to be said about there's been some near deaths, right? Spencer got shot. Obviously, he's not gonna die, but Spencer got shot. Coop got shot, and it was that cliffhanger, and now Patience is stabbed. But I just don't, season 6 might potentially be the last. It's definitely gonna be fewer number of episodes. I just don't think it makes sense to kill off a character that's been here from season 1 just for this last season.
Also, my girl Layla is putting a lot of work into this girl as her artist. We can't have her losing this girl right now. Like
Literally,
she
so
need her
that
money's
would.
worth.
And it's just like it's at a very inconvenient time.
Yes, you can't die right
We're like,
now.
patience, you can't die right now. It's just
Cannot. Can you
inconvenient.
just hold out?
They're still reeling from Billy. We don't have time to mourn you right
Come
now. Like,
on,
come
yeah, it's got a whole wedding to
on.
do.
Be
You gonna
serious. Like,
hold things up.
Liv just felt comfortable enough to go to London. Like, please don't make this girl come back.
Yes.
Please, bruh. So yeah, no. So for those reasons, we think that Patience is going to remain alive. Jaymee and Asher. Let's see if we can do them
Oh, I
quickly.
forgot about them.
Me too. No, I'm kidding. Jaymee obviously sees the ring, assumes it's for her, tells Layla about it, goes on this whole rant about how like marriage is archaic and patriarchal and etc. 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 Um, and Layla really is just like, oh well, you guys are starting a family, so it just doesn't make marriage make sense, and she's really not about it. Simultaneously, Asher is trying to, inform his dad that she is now pregnant. Told Harold about the baby, and Harold was acting real Harold from season 1.
No,
Like
yes, he
he
was.
went immediately to, "You just got your football life back." Like, sir, you ain't even been here,
Are we sure that's even your baby? I said, sir, what?
bruh. I was like, watch your mouth,
He's so reckless for that.
watch your mouth. I had to call it back again. I had to call it back to season 1 when Billy was like, "Mind yourself, Harold." But that was like really reckless. Like it came out of nowhere.
Yes. Did you see Jaymee? I said, "Oh no, girl, we both got slapped in the face just now." She could not take that.
I didn't expect them to drop him back all the way to season 1. Like I was kind of shocked about that. So it was very weird. Obviously, I it feels like she's met him before.
Oh yeah, she was comfortable.
So it's this weird. It felt like Asher and Jamie were sort of on parallel paths this entire episode, and not just
Yes.
because of the ring thing, because obviously it was never Asher's ring, but it was because Asher was sort of more concerned about things going on with his dad, and Jamie was so singularly focused on this ring that she assumed was Asher that she was sort of, in my mind, like throwing out these little comments like throughout the episode to Asher, and Asher's like, okay.
Side eye.
Literally, like, it's not like, just say what's on your mind. Say what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Even when he made the comment about Coop and Patience, right? Jamie's like, so sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people want different things, and he
Yes.
stomps
And she
away.
went storming off.
And then JJ's response to that was so funny. He was just like, well, if you show her the ring, she'll change your mind. I said, oh, I know that's right. It is a nice ring.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so Asher was mainly focused on, protecting his family. I really love the speech that he gave to Harold about protecting his family, because it I started to see Asher in a different light for a while. I feel like he's
Mm-hmm.
really been on a continued journey of like an upward sort of positive trajectory since season 4. And I actually feel like there were times and points in the series where I didn't feel like he earned some of the stuff that they were giving him as like an upstanding guy, and that he hadn't earned it yet. But I feel like he's been on this positive tip for, I feel like, 2 seasons, um 2.5 seasons really, and different ups and downs with that. But seeing him stand up to his dad and say, like, I'm gonna do what I need to do to protect my family, I said, oh, you're a grown man now, Asher.
Love that for my mans.
I do. Like, I don't know, it was really great to see him say that, because it's, I don't know, just I feel like Cody delivered that really, really well, and it was just like, oh wow, he's really grown up. And so that's what I took away from that speech, just that he's become a completely different person than he used to be. And that really has been sustained. Eventually Jamie finds out that the ring wasn't for her,
I could
and
have
they
told her
find
that
out,
from the first time she saw it.
right. Somebody said they should have known whose ring it was immediately,
They should
because
have.
only 2 people in that beach house. One of them just moved back at 18. Nobody can afford that ring.
That's what
Um,
girl. Like, me and Asher. Look, we love Asher, we do, but my man don't got no funds. Like,
literally, literally.
he is
Even I
struggling
think
out
my
here.
prediction was that it wasn't like any of their rings. Was it my original, like my final prediction for this episode? Obviously we know whose ring it ended up being. But tells them that they don't want to get married. This is something to pay attention to.
Yes. Let's see if it's the same thing.
Yes, I feel like you already know what I'm gonna say, is that Jamie said, yeah, I don't want to get married, and there's like a period, and we as the audience
Yes.
know there's a period there. And Asher was just like, yeah, I don't want to get married right
Right
now either.
now.
And that's
Oh
not
my
that's
gosh.
not a throwaway line. That's a very intentional line. So I feel like that's going to come back up soon
He
in
about to lose
season
his
6.
woman and his baby. Oh no. The
Oh my gosh! And they're gonna have a boy. And actually, I was gonna ask you,
they think they having a boy.
changed? Has your prediction changed about whether or not this baby is going to be
Come.
had?
um. No, It has not changed. I feel like
I
she's.
don't know. Even the fact that we got a gender reveal, I don't
I
know.
know,
I'm
but
like,
I feel
I'm
like that
still
should
not
add
moved.
to
I'm
it.
still not moved.
I'm
Exactly.
not.
It's
I
still
think
a
it's just building more to her losing this baby because first you let your people know, your family, your friends, and everything. Everyone's excited, and now you know the gender of the baby. You're even more excited. He's legit building out his child's football career right now in his mind. That football career is never coming to fruition because that baby is never coming to fruition. Like,
You're so blunt. Oh my gosh.
I'm look, guys. She may possibly have the baby.
You
I'm
said that baby ain't going.
I'm sticking
That
to
baby ain't
it. That
going.
baby is not coming. And if the baby does come, I want my Jersey girl moment. But I'm sticking to that baby not coming. She's gonna lose it.
I'm wavering a little bit with the gender reveal, but it also feels like they're starting to show the cracks. I feel like in Asher and Jamie's relationship. Not that
Mm-hmm.
there's huge cracks, but it's just that they've had these miscommunications along the way. And they've been like not miscommunications about small things, but miscommunications about things that are pretty big. How to
Yes.
handle appointments like for pregnancies and how to handle uh your partner's health issues and so things like that. And so it's been very interesting to see this, and yeah,
Which is
that's what
another
I'll say
reason
on
she
that.
should have known that ring wasn't for her because they still have a lot of growing to do. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
they're good, but their relationship still needs a lot of growth to happen within it. Jordayla is not the same as that. So, just saying.
yeah, yeah. A quick aside before we get to the main couples. Laura just become a professor. I love
Yes.
you, but I'm tired of hearing about it.
I'm forget tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of like she's not even doing the real law stuff anymore. Like we don't see people getting saved right now.
Right, and
Where's
it's
this
it's
dude? What's his
really
name?
weird.
Carlton. Like I don't. I'm over.
Yeah,
I'm over this
what
office.
was his
Just give us
name?
a
Yeah,
classroom.
over it because you just abandoned it.
Yeah.
Actually, like, what happened to the woman that you helped, right? That gave you a challenging time or whatever, and you really were proving yourself to the
Mm-hmm.
community. It seemed like she was really passionate about that, and I feel like this is just a weird. I think it's interesting that the writers are trying to sort of force her. It feels a little bit like they're trying to force her into this direction of becoming Billy number two when she was really great at being Laura. I don't think she needs to become Billy. I don't think that she needs to coach Coop up and be Coop's everything like Billy was everybody else's everything. Like, I think that she can just be Laura and be normal and have her job.
Have her job. Like I don't want Coop in her class, but I do feel like she'd make a really great professor.
She would, but I feel like this is what it's leading to, is that she'll eventually be Coop's professor. And I'm like,
I
if
do too.
that's
That's why I'm
where
in
this is
denial. Stop
leading.
saying it.
But that's what I'm saying. If this was just a natural, organic, like, oh, I want to teach law and I want to teach like criminal, I feel like criminal justice law, civil rights law, like that would be really good for her to get into. But I don't want to be that the main purpose to be that she's doing it because she's going to become
They're
Coop's
gonna
professor.
make this man lose his job, and then that's when she swoops in and she takes the position.
Yeah, probably. So there's that. That's the aside on Laura. So had to stop it right there. Stay tuned for the next part where we talk about Spencer and Olivia. We'll call this one a water break. So go get some water and then listen to the next episode when it drops.